Thank God it's Friday, TGIF, DBS family. An amazing good morning to you. It's finally Friday. The week is over. Well, summer. We still have to go throughout today because, it's just a little after 6. But, the week is over. We can enjoy today, eat a nice lunch, go home, kick back, and don't have to worry about the boss calling us. Unless you're working on a Saturday, then that's your business. Welcome to DBS this morning. Of course, my name is Jaden, and we have an amazing show for you guys today. We're touching base with Craig from the Ministry of Youth and Sports, where he's going to be talking about alternative sports. We'll also touch base with, well, I'm not going to say who, but this guy has been around for quite some time, a legend in the making, and he's made a bit of a transition within his musical journey. But we're going to touch base on that pretty soon. Let's just see what's going on in St. Lucia and hear what the news desk has to tell us. So we'll be right back. Stick with us.
Good morning. We start with news that the Caribbean Tourism Organization has appointed St. Lucian Donna Regis Prosper as its new Secretary General and the CEO, the first woman to ever assume leadership of the intergovernmental body.
CTO is truly a dynamic organization. Here I am, a proud St. Lucian national, commencing my onboarding in the Cayman Islands, where my chairmanship and CTO is based. This comes on the heels of my relocation from my second home in Antigua to Barbados, the headquarters of the CTO operations, where my accomplished team is currently preparing for our landmark State of the Tourism Industry conference in the Turks and Caicos Islands in a month's time. As we look forward, I am committed to collaborating closely with all our members to grow this vital tourism industry.
Regis Prosper takes over from Acting Secretary General and CEO Neil Waters, CTO's Director of Finance and Resource Management, who has been filling the position following the retirement of Hugh Riley in 2019. Those are your top stories. Thanks for watching. Good morning.
Thank you, news team, for keeping us informed. Stay with us. We'll be right back. This is DBS This Morning. Morning DBS, of course, and I guess you could tell by the banner behind us where we are and what we're going to be talking about. All right, we have Craig Gustav, who's going to sensitize us on what really is alternative sports about. Craig, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. I'm all right. I'm alive.
That's good to know. So everybody wants to know, 'cause I'm sure people have heard alternative sports ringing about the place off and on. Everybody's probably curious as to what is alternative sports about. So could you let them know?
Right. So, alternative sports we look at as sports which are not mainstream, sports that don't get the spotlight, actually. So we're looking at chess, darts, esports, drag racing, all sorts of motorsports over one big banner. And, other little sports in between, trying to get into archery, skateboarding. That type of sport is what we look at and call under the banner of alternative sports.
So how long have you guys been establishing this section of the sports sector?
Well, we actually have established it and it's working for the last almost 2 years now. This year will be the second year that we're trying to make it, continuously build the brand of alternative sports season. So really and truly, it's something which we can call it still in its teething stages, but hopefully we can get it into a stage where it's really just on autopilot, working on its own, and then there's future successes to do it.
So as you mentioned, it's more or less in its teething stage and so on. Going through that process, what are some of the challenges you guys have faced? Because this is something totally different from the norm, and then you have all kind of different areas, like you said, skateboarding, the racing, etc., etc. So to figure things out as they go along and to do them properly, how has that been in terms of the challenges of it?
There are many challenges. First of all, is to get these these sporting disciplines to now take it a little bit more seriously and realize, okay, well, the Ministry of Sports is on board with them and willing to help them develop their talent, a sport that they are interested in, and not just forcing them into the mainstream sports like football, cricket, and the rest goes on. So really and truly, the challenges we've had is that Most people are so into their habit of just doing it as a hobby, and most of these sports are expensive because they're not mainstream. There's no plan to to cushion the blow of getting the parts, getting the tools. There's no duty-free concessions for them in that particular sport because it's not mainstream. There's no things planned. There are no necessarily, structures for them in place. So that's one challenge, a major challenge. The second, I have had to endure is that really to get the people together to understand that, in order for a governmental agency to aid them or to develop the sport, they need to be organized, they need to be structured. So I think getting that structure in place has been one of the biggest challenges I've had to face.
I'm gonna pose a different kind of question right now. Alternative sports now, it is something you plan to bring into the schools and incorporate the education sector now, because these, like you said, are more or less viewed as hobbies. I'm sure a lot of younger people will have these things as hobbies, right? So are there any plans now to tie this into the education sector now where it becomes part of, let's say, the sports curriculum at schools?
It is the plan. We have had talks with the different clubs as to how to create grassroots programs, to sensitize the youth in it. A lot of the youth are in it on their own, as I said, as hobbies. So you'll find young kids riding BMX bikes, doing stunts that probably I would only see on TV, and they're already doing it on their own. So there are talks to get it into the schools. It's just that how do we do so? But to do so, we need to have a proper structure. We need to have proper clubs. The clubs need to have proper structures to actually, put it out there correctly. If not, then it's just, as I said, it's just thing being done for fun. So it's about teaching the kids that, look, if I want to skateboard, I can skateboard professionally and I can make it a career. If I want to do esports, right now esports is an Olympic sport. Many of the sports now in alternative arena is being taken in as Olympic sports. So there is a career path in it. But right now, because it's still in its teething moments, the focus is the structure and getting the clubs organized to that point where they are affiliated with international bodies, and that's how you start to, break it into the system, right?
So far, what has been done with you guys in terms of, especially in the racing side? We've seen a lot in terms of the racing, drag racing, etc. What has been done so far in terms of events?
Well, on the events aspect of things, we are trying to increase the number of events. With that, obviously there comes a cost with doing that, so we need to be able to manage that properly. We've also just put in a proper structure of an association. So that association now is almost tasked with being able to develop the motorsports industry, get the clubs together, get them registered, and then have talks with them to understand what are the events that they would like to do, how can we develop it professionally, how can they, be able to represent the country. Obviously, right now we have a team which we've recently formulated to go over to Antigua to represent the country as a team, right? So that's actually a big deal. The participants are really happy. They're really excited about it. But all of that comes at a cost. So, having the events is important because what it also does, it gives the drivers good seat time. It allows them to learn their cars better. It allows them to master their craft. Another thing that we're trying to turn it into not just a hobby, because these cars, some of these cars cost a lot of money. It even costs a lot of money just to come to the track. So I mean, we think about all of these challenges, and with the limited resources that we have, we try to make it work, and we'll try to. I mean, with this season coming up, we're going to try to increase the number of events, but also managing cost as well.
Now, there's only a limited amount of time with these interviews, so of course, hopefully we could touch back later on, Craig, to get an update and to follow up with you guys with what you're doing. Of course, keep up the great work here at Alternative Sports. Wish you guys all the best, and if you're at home, hope you learned a lot about Alternative Sports today, and we'll be right back. Stay with us. We are here with George St Croix. You will really know him as, and this will really ring a bell in you guys' head, Platinum George. George, how are you feeling this morning?
Oh, I'm great. So what about you?
I'm doing great, actually. Perfect. The weather is good. Everything is nice,
Oh, yes, it is.
So, George, most know you as Platinum George.
Yes.
And it's been a while that people have been looking out for you within the soca and the soca circuit.
Sure.
And may have not been seeing you around. But to my understanding, a little birdie told me that you have entered in a different realm. You are in the music, but in a different realm, right?
Yes. Right now I'm into gospel music. I have taken the music into a different, I would say a different route, into gospel soca, gospel reggae, still keeping the music, but just, as I said, to a different page.
Now, when you were in the soca side of things, at least from my opinion, the way you did your soca was more on a very fun side, very enjoy, free up yourself side,
Right.
And now going into the gospel, what made you switch into that? What made you transition into that?
Well, into soca, I was basically more like an entertainer, bringing out the music in a fun way for people to enjoy. But, it was just for me a pretend. From performing, I suffered with depression, that really put me in a different box. And for me, it was like doing music to entertain people, make people happy, but I was not happy, and then I met up with someone who invited me to church. From that point, I spoke to Emron Henry. When Emron Henry that I had removed from soca into church, he started communicating with me, and he said to me, "But George, even if that you have removed from the soca scene, but you can still do your music in a different scene, And from there, we have switched to gospel, where I am basically Emron Henry is my producer, and then that's what we do. From entertaining the youth as well, to do something positive."
Right,
Yeah.
right. So when it comes to in fact, how long has it been since you switched into the gospel side?
It's going to be 4 years now.
Okay, and what are some of the bodies of work you've done since then? You mentioned that Emron is your producer.
Yes.
I guess you guys collaborate often, right?
Yes, we do. Our first release was called A New Day. It was like a fusion with gospel into reggae. And this one hit the charts. And what happens is, when it comes to gospel music, we do not get a lot of people, who embrace it. And this is something that the gospel nation is suffering with. If you go to a sponsor and say that you want to put on a gospel event as a gospel artist, you do not get people who want to, I would say, invest, into gospel music. And what happens, we have so many gospel artists from St. Lucia who are overseas doing well. And imagine when Emron told me, "George, if you don't know how big your song is overseas," I said, "but I was not even paying attention." And then from there, we start, basically right now I have an album coming out. Right. That's the amount of work that we have been doing with this new single coming out.
What are some of the reasons? Because you mentioned that let's say the corporate side of things, the private sector may not want to invest themselves, not just financially but in all aspects, into the gospel sector. What are some of the reasons why you believe so? What are the misconceptions that they may have that leads them to do that?
Well, you see, anything that is done positive, a lot of people would not want to even if that they will pretend that they care, when it comes to putting what they say into action, it is something totally different. If you talk about rum or bacchanal or woman, you get a lot of people who want to pump money into this. But when it comes to something that will uplift you, something that will bring you more on a spiritual side of it, a lot of people will, I would say, have an excuse, into not wanting to, even if that, and I've found that a lot. Sometimes I get a lot of people say, yes, good job, great job. You understand? But now when you come to them and say, hey, can I get some help from you? They pull back,
And that is actually so unfortunate, really and truly. Hopefully that could change in the future. For those of you watching within the corporate sector and elsewhere, hopefully that could change in the future. George, I want to ask you, because that same little buddy also told me that, did mention to me about, that you did enter a depressive phase at one point,
yes,
which actually turned out to be a W if you enter in the gospel sector, right?
Yes.
What are some of the ways in which, because I'm pretty sure with you, you do help other young persons who are within that realm. How do you go about doing that?
Well, you see, what I faced, and that a lot of people face was depression. And, a lot of people believe that when you are depressed, it's just about you having a bad day. Or probably you would say, I am not in my mood today. You understand? And then when you sit at home, you think about all what you have gone through your day, what your parents are putting you through, bullying as well. And then I put my music in not being too spiritual, but putting it in a positive way, that letting people know that the way that I found help is by reading my Bible, by giving my life to Christ, and giving it 100%, not saying that I am a Christian and still living a life of sin, still going out and drinking, but 100% in removing myself from the world, from the friends that I used to line with, and just putting myself positive. Because I cannot be speaking to people or going to the youth and telling them about changing their lives, and I myself still living a double life. I have to, whatever that they see or whatever that they hear from me, they have to see it in the way that my life is going.
Of course, that translates into the music, right, in effect. All right, George, I'd like to now ask you to tell the people of St. Lucia where they can find your music and what's coming up next for you.
Okay, guys, what is coming up next? I want to do a tour around St. Lucia to every different community. Moving around with the gospel artists from St. Lucia. And this is an invite for probably you who want to come aboard as a sponsor. I'm sending the invite to you because I will be visiting some of you guys, And what we're going to do with the music, show St. Lucia the talent of St. Lucians, in gospel music entertainment. All right, my new single is just coming out, and you guys will get the video next week. The album is coming out at the end of the month, called a new day where you will find music from me would express what I went through and who I am today. All right, so people, I hope that you are locked in. You're gonna get it on DBS. You're gonna see me on social media, Facebook, Instagram. Just stay tuned, and hey, we're gonna give you something different.
So you heard it right here from George St Croix, better known as Platinum George. Sweet gospel music, of course. Tap in if it's St. Lucia. Don't sleep on the vibe. All right, keep it locked with us, George. I want to wish you all the best, my bro. I'm looking forward to the music and the album coming out. Yes. I myself am an artist as well on the Afrobeat side, so hopefully we could lock in at some point, of course, right? All right, St. Lucia, keep it locked. We'll be right back. This is DBS This Morning.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this morning's SocaCize session. Leading the wine is Sarah and myself, Shani. Let's get ready to flaunt with the SocaCize. This morning, we will be doing a bacchanal warm-up routine. Let's get ready to flaunt with the SocaCize. Cross, cross, head. 4, 3, 2, and... Again. 2 more. Last one. Push back and twist. And hold it there. 4, 3, 2, push back, and hey, 4, 3, 2, squeeze, and 4, 3, 2, 1, drop it out, hey, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2 up, push. Awa, we're not doing it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Last one. Cross, knee. Hey. One more. Push. And hey. Hold it. Push, push. 4, 3, 2, squeeze it. 4, 3, 2, 1, hey. 4, 3, 2 up, let's go. We will. Oh no. Last one. Cross, knee. Hey. Last one. Push. Hold it. Take it up. Roll it. Push, push. Take it up. And squeeze it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hop it out. Four, 3, 2, 1. That was this morning's session. We hope you are feeling sexy, sultry, and strong. Have a wonderful day.
Of course, all good things must come to an end, including this week. Today is Friday, guys. So go out, enjoy the day at work today. Make your coworker feel great. Make your family member feel good. Clean the house, spruce it up, and let's go out tonight because we're going to party. It's Friday. All right. See you guys once again Monday, bright and early, 6 a.m., where we'll have another work week ahead of us. Another week to champion the beautiful thing we call life. My name is Jaden. Steal it. It's Friday.